The Tshwane taxi industry calling for an end to robberies and killing of taxi drivers. Taxis in the city of Tshwane will be driving through the CBD, targeting crime hotspots today. Our reporter Tshegohaco Moagi watching this particular story. Tshegohaco, very good morning to you. Seemingly a huge concern for the taxi industry. This on the day that the police minister is launching the Safer Festive Season campaign, doing so in Limpopo. What's the situation in Tshwane?
Well, good morning, Koli. Indeed, the Tshwane taxi industry and taxi drivers really saying that, they've had enough of the amount of crime and robberies that has taken place within the city of Tshwane. I mean, they were telling us just off air that just yesterday, a taxi was targeted and people then go into the taxis and they rob the commuters, those that are inside the taxis, obviously going from point A to point B. So they are now calling for an end to this. There'll be a motorcade from here, the city of Tshwane, in the CBD, and it will be heading over into Tshegohaco. But to give us more details about what exactly they are calling for, I'm joined by McDonald Makata. He is from the taxi industry here in Tshwane. Thank you so much for your time. Let's start off with the issue, of course, of the robberies that have taken place. What is your biggest concern when it comes to this and what you guys are calling for today?
Our biggest concern is the safety of our commuters to start with. And the second one is the killing of our drivers by the same hooligans. So as the taxi industry, we cannot be folding arms and watch this happening, more especially when people are robbed while in transit. That is unacceptable. It cannot be. Because you'll remember in the olden days, the safety of every individual was more in a taxi than anywhere else. So, but nowadays it is now changed. Our taxis are now used by these criminals as a haven, where they now take the people's properties, phones, monies, But yeah, as the taxi industry, we had to stand up. Fortunately, we had to collaborate with the law enforcement. They are also part of us. We went to them and they know, because they also reported the same worries, that there are so many cases that have been opened of robberies and they can't do a thing about it, because it's just quite difficult for them, more especially when it's happening in a moving taxi, So it then calls for the taxi industry to stand up, and to put a stop to that.
Now we do know, as you've mentioned, that these robberies take place in transit. From what you have heard and from the experience that you've had when this actually takes place, is anybody ever harmed in these particular robberies, besides, of course, then the killing of the taxi drivers?
These guys are so wise and so clever. They don't normally, most of the victims were not harmed, but they lost everything. So that is now emotional torture in a way, They will live with that for the rest of their lives. So, yeah, we have to put a stop to it before anything drastic happens. We cannot let people take other people's monies, the hard-earned cases, and everything should be fine. No ways. We are saying the bus stops here.
So you are targeting the crime hotspots within Tshwane, and obviously going into Tshegohaco. What have you seen when it comes to these particular hotspots? Has there now been an increase in more of this kind of crime taking place?
Yeah, I think it's spiraling. It is now going around Tshwane, even in the West End. I got a report from East End yesterday. So this thing is like it's trending. I think they are copying from each other. And whether it's a syndicate or not, that will still remain to be seen. But we are going to work hard. We are really going to put a stop to it. Nothing happens in the industry that we cannot handle.
Now, Mr. Makata, the police minister himself will be launching the Safety for Festive Season in Limpopo today. What is your message to the police minister as he does this launch, but also just for the safety of taxi drivers and commuters?
I would urge for visibility of the police. I'm very much disappointed in our laws and policies in this country, because criminals are more protected than law-abiding citizens. So to me, I've been driving around and I saw the operations, how the police are working and all that. There's no agency of safety there. When you know somebody, you are just going to pass. So we need stringent measures to be put in place for police to do their work thoroughly. You cannot be, now, this was supposed to be the police work, but we are doing it. Even the perpetrators that we apprehended, we gave them over to the police. We arrested them ourselves. So you can see that maybe the minister should consider, funding the taxi industry to do his job, because definitely that's what we are doing anyway.
All right, thank you so much, McDonald Makata there. Holly, just giving us details about today's motorcade, and they are really just saying enough is enough. A lot of the commuters have been robbed of their belongings while in transit, even taxi drivers losing their lives. So they are saying that they will do the work that the police are supposed to be doing and really calling a stop to what is currently taking place. Not just, we've just now heard, in the city of Tshwane, but it is now spreading to other areas of the country.
It's a very concerning story, worrying indeed, and hopefully the taxi drivers do not do what is normally intended for the police. Hopefully the situation will be looked into much quicker.